African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoy, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command in combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation as of June 28, 2025. The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue to conduct a special military operation. Units of the North Group of Forces improved the situation along the forward edge. They inflicted losses on the manpower and equipment of 3 mechanized brigades, an assault regiment of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, and a territorial defense brigade in the areas of the settlements of Andreyevka, Kharkiv, Magritsa, and Maryino in the Sumy region. In the Kharkiv direction, units of the Mechanized Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and a Territorial Defense Brigade were defeated in the areas of the settlements of Udy and Volchansk in the Kharkiv region. That the Ukrainian armed forces lost up to 155 servicemen, 2 combat armored vehicles, 5 cars, 3 field artillery pieces, and an ammunition depot. Units of the West Group of Forces occupied more advantageous lines and positions. They defeated formations of 2 mechanized, airmobile, 2 assault brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and a territorial defense brigade in the areas of the settlements of Kupiansk, Olgavka, Sobolevka, Senkovo in the Kharkiv region, and Karpovka in the Donetsk People's Republic. That the Ukrainian Armed Forces lost over 230 servicemen, 4 combat armored vehicles, including a US-made HMMWV armored car and a UK-made Snatch combat armored vehicle, 6 cars, and 3 artillery pieces. An electronic warfare station and 3 ammunition depots were destroyed. Units of the Southern Group of Forces improved the position along the front line. They defeated the manpower and equipment of 3 mechanized, airmobile, assault brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and a territorial defense brigade in the areas of the settlements of Seversk, Reznikovka, Zvanovka, Pleshchevka, Ivanopoli, and Konstantinovka of the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy lost up to 175 servicemen, 2 pickup trucks, and a field artillery gun. Units of the Center Group of Forces continued to advance deep into the enemy's defense. They defeated the formations of 2 mechanized, assault, airborne assault brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a Marine brigade, a territorial defense brigade, and a National Guard brigade in the areas of the settlements of Popov Yar, Novoekonomichesko, Krasnoarmeysk, Petrovskogo, Dmitrov, Mayak, and Muravka of the Donetsk People's Republic. That the losses of the Ukrainian Armed Forces amounted to 505 servicemen, 2 combat armored vehicles, including a US-made M113 armored personnel carrier, 2 cars, and 2 field artillery guns. Units of the East Group of Forces, as a result of decisive actions, liberated the settlement of Chervona Zerka of the Donetsk People's Republic. The manpower and equipment of 2 mechanized brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and a territorial defense brigade were defeated in the areas of the settlements of Poltavka, Malinovka in the Zaporizhia region, and Kamishevaka in the Donetsk People's Republic. The Ukrainian Armed Forces lost up to 210 servicemen, 2 combat armored vehicles, 8 cars, 3 artillery pieces, and an electronic warfare station. Units of the Dnieper Group of Forces defeated formations of a mechanized brigade, a coastal defense brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, and a territorial defense brigade in the areas of the settlements of Kamenskoye in the Zaporizhia region, Antonovka, Kazatskoye, and Novotyadzinka in the Kherson region. That up to 75 Ukrainian servicemen, 4 cars, 2 field artillery pieces, 3 electronic warfare stations, and 2 ammunition depots were destroyed. Operational tactical aviation, strike unmanned aerial vehicles, missile troops, and artillery of the Russian Armed Forces groups damaged ammunition and material depots, workshops for the production and assembly of long-range strike unmanned aerial vehicles, storage sites for unmanned boats, as well as temporary deployment points for armed formations of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and foreign mercenaries in 142 districts. Air defense systems shot down 6 guided aerial bombs and 252 aircraft-type unmanned aerial vehicles. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, the following have been destroyed: 663 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 66,058 unmanned aerial vehicles, 612 anti-aircraft missile systems, 24,069 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,572 multiple launch rocket system combat vehicles, 26,719 field artillery guns and mortars, 37,392 special military vehicles. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.